Welcome back. This is Chicken Philosophy, the Tao Te Ching, Part 9, in which I will pick up right where Gwydion left off in Part 8. So for those who've been watching the other series, there's different ways to approach chicken philosophy for those who are new. For those who are new, if you're specifically interested in Tao Te Ching, I would invite you to check out the Tao Te Ching playlist and maybe start with episode 1. It's right here. So, you can watch whatever pops up and see what it is. Sometimes it's Meccan Revelations, sometimes it's Tao Te Ching, sometimes it's Martin Luther, sometimes it's Nag Hammadi, and sometimes it's Carl Jung's Black Books, and once in a while, it's something else. None of the above. Not very often, but we do special episodes now and again. And anyway, so I don't know what I was going to say, but I'll just move on to the next thought. Li and Tzu. I'm not pronouncing that correctly, guaranteed. However, I think I'm doing a pretty accurate interpretation of Alan Watts's mispronunciation of those concepts, which he, though he speaks with a very authoritative British, accent and everything. I mean, he's far more, or was, he's no longer with us, but definitely far more learned than myself. But he's definitely someone I like. Perhaps you do too, perhaps not. But anyway, he used to have this this show on KQED in San Francisco. And something about East, whatever, back then people still spoke that way. Some people still do. They don't watch Chicken Philosophy. Never mind, don't worry about it. East and West. It's like, they seem like, it's just innocent, like, words, simple ways of clarifying what we're talking about. Is it Eastern or is it Western? But the more you look into it, the more fucked up it is. And, better to just call it Chinese, Indian philosophy, ancient Greek philosophers, German Enlightenment period philosophy. These are all like separate individual things, and clumping them into East and West is problematic at best. That rhymed. It's easier to remember that way. So anyway, what are we talking about? We're talking about not that, for sure. I think that I'm gonna go ahead and make Editor Edward dig up the episode. I hope that he can find it on Li and Tzu. Just as a synopsis, this over here is Li, this over here is Tzu. Put them together, you have pretty much the whole of what there is to experience here on Earth, and hopefully that is a link to Alan Watts explaining it. I'll let him take it from there. Check it out, it's worth it. Anyway, Qigong philosophy. Some of you might already be familiar, so I'll move through it quickly for the folks who are not familiar. Once upon a time, I was a child, 3 or 4 years old, and I was aware that my dad would do this thing called meditating, which involved saying Om. And at the time, he hadn't taught me that thing my dad taught me when I was 6. Check that out, it's good. But anyway, I didn't know that's what he was doing, but that's what he was doing. And in my 4-year-old brain, I was aware that he would get really upset when he would start meditating, and then the garbage truck would drive by, making a lot of noise, or someone would start using a weed whacker in the neighbor's yard, or a lawnmower, or anything like that. He'd say, "God damn it! Oh, God damn it!" And so I determined that I would that I would evolve beyond this need for silence in order to say Om, and I would have a new form of meditation that I developed called Chikung. So instead of sitting down and saying Om, I would sit down and say Chikung. And the cool thing about that was that it was in harmony with, it would go along with, in fact, it was the name that I also used, or Kung was the name apparently, that I used for those sounds. The air conditioner would turn on, I'd say Kung. You know, someone would turn on the vacuum cleaner, I'd say Kung, you know. Maybe I don't know, I wasn't talking yet very much, so I was pretty young. And anyway, so Chikung was my word. And that's basically it. And then as an adult, I was grateful to my younger self for passing that little thread of knowledge to my future self, so that when I would try to find peace and quiet and stillness, and then there'd be some noise, instead of getting upset and wanting to go somewhere else where there was silence, I would smile and say, no, I'm going to meditate right here. So today you and I are going to read the next few chapters of Tao Te Ching here with all of this noise pollution behind me. I'm not sure how editor Edward's going to even work music into this, or if it's even possible. I'm speaking a little closer to the microphone than normal because I got to compete with the urban jungle behind me of any major city, India, somewhere in India. So what we do today, we're going to do beverage first. So today we have some coffee, no sugar. Cheers. We've got my new shirt, which I must confess I got it from, here, I'll just show you. Yeah, so there it is. That's a little spoiler from a future episode of Edward Reeves Travels. Check that out. It's worth it. I know I'm saying that about everything. I'm giving you a lot of homework to do. All of these links will be in the description toward the bottom when you're done watching this episode. Whichever one or all of them. If you right-click, you can open a new window, all of the links, and then you can just systematically go through and check out each thing I'm recommending to you, which, of course, I recommend. I mean, if you're on a PC, most of you, according to my analytics, most of you are on the phone, so I don't know what you guys can do. Figure it out. I'm not, telling you what to do, figure it out if you want to. It's your life, it's your freedom. It's your party, and you'll cry if you want to. That doesn't work. So, fun thing. Though, now I remember what I was trying to say earlier, is I'm still in the same place as I was when I read the Martin Luther, but I'm outside on the balcony, if you couldn't tell. And it turns out I didn't need to use the fork and the ashtray because they have an actual incense burner here. So today, I'm going to select, I'm leaning toward raindrops. Mostly because of the name. If we were asking about the smell, I'm drawn to frangipani. But since you can't actually smell what I'm going to light, I like the name raindrops more than that. So that's what's happening. That's what we're doing. How are you doing? You doing well? So, yeah, white shirt, white pedal. Just trying to think of stuff to say while I pull the incense out. Editor Edward, could you? No, never mind. Okay, we got it. Oh, it is nice. Okay, I'm not disappointed by the choice. Try. Oh, the lighter sound was like very. When I'm in front of the bookshelf, the lighter sound is like jarring to the ear. But it's interesting how everything is kind of relative. Like when things are bright, then bright things don't seem as bright. Does that make sense? When things are dark, bright things. Never mind. So like loud sounds when it's quiet versus when it's loud. I don't know how this is going to turn out. This reminds me a little bit of some of the Arbatel episodes for him who has watched them. Hi. And is also watching this. There's one person, I think. I don't think there's more than one. There's only one person who's watched the entire Arbatel series besides me, who is also watching this. You and I have that in common. No one else in the world. Alright, so we did the incense and we did the beverage. Next... something, a little gift from Royal China. And I don't mean the restaurant that gave me this bag. I mean the actual Royal China. Imperial China? I don't know. The I Ching. We're going to do the I Ching now. And then we'll... That's cute. Then we'll do... Then we'll have like something to go on. Something to kind of like give us a focus for this episode. So pick a card, any card. All right, that one? Good. Good. So we've got double solid, broken, solid, broken, solid. Editor Edward, if you would please turn up the volume on the music while I look that one up. I flipped right to it. The book just opened to it. Figure 38. Quay. K''UEI. Opposition. Misunderstanding truth creates opposition. That's what I'm all about. That's what chicken philosophy is all about. Maybe, from a certain perspective. If you want to call the stuff we read on here truth. And my misinterpreting of it when it's unintentional misunderstanding, then that's definitely the tagline for chicken philosophy. No, misunderstanding truth creates opposition. Right. Yeah, okay. If we define truth as that which is, then misunderstanding it is creating a discordance between the microcosm, or the small universe, the personal universe that you live in, that projected universe that comes from in here, and the actual universe that's out there, right? So, yeah, that's opposition. So, being able to set aside what one wants, what one hopes for, what one is afraid of, set all that aside and be open to the realization, open to the experience of what actually is. The opposition goes away. That's my misunderstanding of the truth of that I Ching figure right there. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's put it over there and do a negative image of it, since we got a lot of white space there. That's a little different. Okay, good. Now we will read some of the I Ching, starting right where we left off last time. 52. Speaking of cards. All under heaven, with hyphens, so it must be like a Chinese figure that got translated as all under heaven. All under heaven have a common beginning. This beginning is the mother of the world. Having known the mother, not like that, Oedipus. Every time. There's always one. We may proceed to know her children. Having known the children, we should go back and hold on to the mother. In doing so, you will incur no risk, even though your body be annihilated. Block all the passages. Shut all the doors. At the end of your days, you will not be worn out. Open the passages. Multiply your activities. At the end of your days, you will remain helpless. To see the small is to have insight. To hold on to weakness is to be strong. Use the lights, but return to your insight. Do not bring calamities upon yourself. This is the way of cultivating the changeless. '53. If I only had the tiniest grain of wisdom.
If I only had a brain.
Thank you, Scarecrow. I should walk in the great way. And my only fear would be to stray from it. The great way is very smooth and straight. And yet, the people prefer devious paths. The court is very clean and well garnished, but the fields are very weedy and wild, and the granaries are very empty. They wear gorgeous clothes. They carry sharp swords. They surfeit, S-U-R-F-E-I-T, Editor Edward, if you would. Thank you. They surfeit themselves with food and drink. They possess more riches than they can use. They are the heralds of brigandage. Brigandage? Sometimes, like, people who speak English as a second language will use words that I'm like, I have never heard that word before, and then I feel like a fool until I look at, when I search it on Google, and then there's the option to see, like, how often it's used, and it's like, oh, it was a very popular word in 1740, but not so much in the 19th, 20th, and 21st centuries. And I'm like, okay, I just don't read old books very, never mind. They are the heralds of brigandage. As for Tao, what do they know about it? It's the end of chapter 53. As a person wearing a nice shirt, I can tell you, not much. But that of which there is to know is no... See, that's me not knowing and misunderstanding the truth, so... Okay. Makes it relatable maybe, but not helpful. Or maybe a little helpful indirectly. A step toward, after you hear all my shenanigans about it, if you're interested enough, then you can go find someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about, talk about the Tao Te Ching. And then I will have helped you on your journey to start from the Tao to what? To, I think I'll look into this. But that's all I'm here to do. And maybe entertain a little. Now and then. 54.
R54, where are you?
That's a deep cut. What is well planted cannot be uprooted. What is well embraced cannot slip away. Your descendants will carry on the ancestral sacrifice for generations without end. Cultivate virtue in your own person, and it becomes a genuine part of you. Cultivate it in the family, and it will abide. Thank you, Jeff Bridges. May you live forever. Cultivate it in the community, and it will live and grow. Cultivate it in the state, and it will flourish abundantly. Can you imagine? Cultivate it in the world, and it will become universal. You know, the word Catholic means universal. About as universal as that logo that popped up, the world. It's a good symbol. I mean, it's a good image. It's nice. It's a shame that it's somebody's, like, logo, right? I don't even know, do they even exist anymore? Hence, a person must be judged as a person.
There is overwhelming bipartisan or tripartisan opposition to the absurd idea that a corporation is a person.
A family as a family. A family as family. A community as community. A state as state. The world as world. How do I know about the world? By what is within me. 55. If a little voice in your head said, "Noon, hey," you're not alone. We're all fucked for life, aren't we? One who is steeped in virtue is akin to the newborn babe. Wasps and poisonous serpents do not sting it, nor fierce beasts seize it, nor birds of prey maul it. Don't maul. Its bones are tender, its sinews soft, but its grip is firm. Thank you, Christian Bale. It was quite a role. Anyway, it has not known the union of the male and the female, growing in its wholeness with a W, and keeping its vitality in its perfect integrity. It howls and screams all day long without getting hoarse. because it embodies perfect harmony. To know harmony is to know the changeless. To know the changeless is to have insight. To hasten the growth of life is ominous. To control the breath by the will is to overstrain it. To be overgrown is to decay. All this is against Tao. And whatever is against Tao soon ceases to be. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. Just kidding.
The easy way.
56. He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. So don't listen to this guy. He's talking. It's okay. It's being silly. No, the one who saw the Arbatel series caught that. Block all the passages, shut all the doors, blunt all the edges, untie all tangles, harmonize all lights. Unite the world into one whole with a W. This is called the mystical whole with a WH, which you cannot court after nor shun, benefit nor harm, honor nor humble. Therefore, it is the highest of the world. He's second highest. So no. Enough levity. 57. You govern a kingdom by normal rules. You fight a war by exceptional moves. But you win the world by letting alone. How do I know that this is so? By what is within me. The more taboos and inhibitions there are in the world, the poorer the people become. Because they're taking away their livelihood by saying, hey, that's illegal. Don't do that. No, just let it be. They're making money. It's an honest living, right? No, maybe, no. The sharper the weapons the people possess, the greater confusion reigns in the realm. That's only a homophone in English, no doubt. I'm sure the Chinese word for confusion sounds nothing like the Chinese word for Confucius, which is probably similar to Confucius, but very different. You know how it goes. It's like the American English way of pronouncing things, like Buddhism. And then there's people that go around saying, it isn't Buddhism, it's Buddhism. I will never say Buddhism. Ever. The more clever and crafty the men, the oftener strange things happen. The more articulate the laws and ordinances, the more robbers and thieves arise. So we need inarticulate laws and ordinances that can be interpreted very generally. I don't know. And maybe it's a metaphor. Different time. Therefore, the sage says, I do not make any fuss and the people transform themselves. I love quietude, and the people settle down in their regular grooves. No. We already did that. I mean, we let it play on and on and on. Sometimes we do Madonna on here, and it plays on and on and on and on, longer than you would expect, but we did that particular one, I think, in Tao Te Ching fairly recently, so let's not. I do not engage myself in anything, and the people grow rich. I have no desires, and the people return to simplicity. So in this context, remember, we're neither reading Nag Hammadi nor Martin Luther, so growing rich is a good thing. Good thing. As far as I know. But not too rich, right? If you know, you remember he said, if you know how much is enough, then you're rich. But if you think you need more, then you're poor. I don't know if he said those exact words, but I did, and it rhymed. So today we're going to officially, as of now, be reading a little more. No, okay, 52 to 57, that's 5. So now I'm reading a 6th chapter. 58. Where the ruler is mum. The people are simple and happy. Where the ruler is sharp. The people are wily and discontented. Bad fortune is what good fortune leans on. Good fortune is what bad fortune hides in. Yeah, I mean, that kind of gets back to, like, you know, occasionally I make the point that the one who is truly free is the wandering sadhu sitting under a tree who doesn't care whether he eats or not and doesn't care if people come and hack him to pieces. So the one who... It's like there's places in the world where people were basically happy until someone brought in smartphones, and they looked and they saw people living in Beverly Hills, and they saw for the first time mansions and swimming pools and fancy clothes and people wearing makeup and stuff like that, and they were like, I want that. So what made the difference? Before, they were rich. And then once they beheld this image of rich, they became poor in their mind. Yeah, I don't know if I'm making a good... Just talking. Who knows the ultimate end of this process? Is there no norm of right? We were talking about this yesterday, weren't we? Was that yesterday? No, that was Nag Hammadi. Yet, what is normal soon becomes abnormal. And what is auspicious soon turns ominous. Long indeed have the people been in a quandary. Long indeed. Therefore, the sage squares without cutting, carves without disfiguring, straightens without straining, enlightens without dazzling. You enlightened yet? I know I am. And that's 6 chapters. So, I hope that you enjoyed it. And not in a hurry to finish this one. So there'll be a few more episodes. There's 81 of these chapters. The next one will start with 59, so you can do some math. I have decided and decreed that I'm not necessarily going to stick to only 6 chapters. In other words, if, like that in part 6, if I don't have anything to say that day, if my brain is just... and I read 6 chapters and it's only been like 22 minutes, I'll just keep reading. But I'm pretty sure... See, for me, I hit record on this before I had everything set up right. This table was over there, and that table was over here, and then I realized that that table was too small, and the microphone would be way down there, which isn't going to work on a day like this with this noise and stuff. So I did all that while it was recording. So I don't know exactly how many minutes it took me before I actually said, "Welcome back. This is Chicken Philosophy." But right now, for me, it says 40 minutes and 13 seconds, 14 seconds, 15 seconds. So I'm assuming that it's more than half an hour for you. And half hour is the bare minimum I've decided for an episode of Chicken Philosophy, no matter what the subject is. There really isn't a maximum, but they haven't really gone past an hour and 20 minutes, I don't think. I mean, except for, obviously, transformations. Do I have any links left? That was when I read my dad's book. That might have been a little longer than an hour and 20 minutes. Might have been a lot longer than an hour and 20 minutes, actually. The weather is nice. It was a little warm when I came out here, but now it's gotten cooler and breezy. A little bit gray, though there is a little bit of a hint of blue up there. You can't see it, but I can. All right. I had fun. I hope you had fun too. And I hope that we didn't misunderstand the truth too much. And, well, I don't know. I think it's inevitable. I mean, what is life without opposition? That kind of opposition of misunderstanding the truth. You hear a sound, you think, I don't know how many times a day I say, "Did you call me?" And she says, "No, that was a cat. No, that was a car horn. That was somebody else. That was a child. What, you really think that I sound like that?" And I say, "Sorry, I had my headphones on and I heard something and I didn't want you to be like calling over and over, and, minor. I mean, you know what I mean? No, never mind. I just, this place was good. I had sweet and sour chicken for the first time since Thailand, which is, I think, one of the videos in the travel series? I don't remember making a Thailand video, but gosh, it seems like it'd be really weird of me not to. Oh yeah, no, there's one called okay, it's like combined with okay, because it was like an extended honeymoon. So we got married in February of 2019, and we did a lot of traveling that year, and I think it was all just kind of like, first we went to Ooty, which was kind of like, we were in Tamil Nadu, which is like the southernmost tip of India, that state. And Ooty, I think, is in or very near Tamil Nadu. And so that was where we started. We went there, that was our like official, like the place you go right after. Oh no, and we went to Mysore, and stayed at this really nice place. And but that was on the way to Ooty. I don't think Mysore is in Tamil Nadu. Anyway, it doesn't matter. then after that, yeah, then we went back to Delhi, but then shortly after that we went to Thailand. So I think it's like Mysore and Thailand is the name. I don't know the name of the video. Now I'm gonna go find it. It was a long time ago, so I don't think I've watched it in a little while. I'm gonna go watch it. And anyway, so Thailand, one of those islands, I think was the last time I had sweet and sour chicken. And until last night, Royal China. It was good. It's satisfying. It was one of my favorites growing up. But then, as I was falling asleep last night, I was like, I thought it wasn't it sweet and sour pork? I'm like, yeah, it was. It was when I was a kid. That was the thing I liked. Sorry to horrify anybody who's halal or kosher or whatever, or vegan or vegetarian or fan of Porky. The pig, not the pervert show movie. What am I talking about? Nothing important. Nothing important at all. It's time to wrap up the episode, I'd say. And should we do an end screen? Yeah, but I don't know what it'll be. Afterthought Edward here. I don't know if I'm the same as Editor Edward, but whatever. So I did think of one thing so far. It'll be up here. What it is it's Carl Jung's Black Books Part 2, because there was a person who commented, basically in a nice way, saying, why should I watch your series when I can just read the book myself? And we here at Chicken Philosophy said, absolutely, don't watch the series. You shouldn't. There's no reason to watch the series. You should read the book yourself, which I believe. But then with the qualifier that if you have the attention span, like a lot of people enjoy in particular the Carl Jung, because it's kind of thick. It's kind of a lot to get through, and kind of like, what am I reading? And so people who get into the series do enjoy it. For whatever reason, because they get to hear me react to it, make light of it, do voices, whatever. Yeah, so anyway, that's how we responded to the comment from the Chicken Philosophy account. But then Gwydion replied, and he had some other stuff to add, basically saying that it's the best thing on YouTube. So I would like to invite you, the folk who got to the end of this video, who I'm guessing are one of the 3 or 4 people who are, I dare say, like, fans? I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I would invite you to click the link up here, Carl Jung's Black Books Part 2. You don't have to watch it. Just hit pause as soon as you get there and then look at the comments. There's a bunch of comments, but then the one in particular that says, I don't mean to sound harsh, but... And read his comment, his or her, I assume it's a he. And then my responses, mine and Gwydion's, And then if you want to add anything, only if you want to. If you feel called to say something, then feel free. If you want to. I don't know. Just putting it out there. All right. And to be clear, I don't recommend clicking either of those. I recommend turning off your screen and meditating or doing some deep breathing, even though this guy seems to think that intentional breathing isn't good. You have to be unintentionally breathing. I don't know. Whatever. We take things in their place, not necessarily like cherry pick and make some kind of like amalgamation out of cherry picked pieces of things, but in this world, okay, seek to clarify and decide our relation with the clarified or unclarified message of this, okay. And then in the world of, let's say, yoga, you have pranayama, which is deep and intentional breathing. You can do that, slow, deep breathing. Like fire, breath of fire. I mean, there's a bad breath of fire and there's a good breath of fire. By bad, I mean potentially harmful. But no, slow, deep breathing where you're making a sound. Never mind. I'm sure there's a yoga class near wherever you are. It's all over the world now. Okay, that's really enough out of me. So feel free to click one of the links or don't, and I'll see you next time. Next time, it'll be Gwydion reading Meccan Revelation, unless I have to fill in for him because we're not back in where his hat is yet, which is most likely. Till next time.